Yo, I gotta say, this video is crazy. Have you guys seen it? Meteorologist Alyssa Carlson Schwartz reveals reason she collapsed in frightening live TV moment. Now, I know it's from earlier in the week because admittedly, these Friday segments I record early so that I can get way more content up for you guys. And just, I like working. I want to keep working. So you may have seen this because it's a few days old, but they're breaking down what happened. If you haven't seen the video, let me play it for you. Yo, it is crazy. A female meteorologist just, her eyes roll back into her head and then she slams down, collapses, and they're like, oh, geez. Let's play the clip. Oh, where's the audio?
Alyssa Carlson, she joins us live in the studio. Alyssa, this really is the calm before the storm.
Not again. No. Oh.
Not again. Then they cut to commercial. I'm going to play it for you again because I want you to notice a few things. One, watch her eyes. I know it's kind of hard to see. I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit. Watch her eyes and listen carefully. The women in the newsroom are still talking, but you can hear her say something. Listen.
Alyssa Carlson, she joins us live in the studio. Alyssa, this really is the calm before the storm.
Not again. No.
Okay. First, I want to say, I feel bad for this woman. I hope she's okay. Apparently, she says she has some disorder. We'll read into that. But you notice she's sitting there, and then her eyes roll into the back of her head, and she goes, and she just shuts down. Here's my question first. Why have why have we not seen so much of this in the past? Honest question. We're seeing a lot of it. Remember that comedian who was on stage and she was like, I traveled and I got vaccinated and I didn't get sick. And then she goes, freezes up, falls back, slams her head right into the floor. Concussion. And everyone laughed. You know, we don't see videos like that until recently. I talk about this. If you go to Google and you search for died suddenly, but put a time gate in the filter, meaning only look for instances of the phrase died suddenly before January 2020. You know what? Be safe. Go with December 2019. No results afterwards. And take a look. Here's what I found. Every few months, there's a story. It's like January died suddenly. May died suddenly. Do it now. Do it recently. And what do you find? 4 or 5 a day? Sometimes not, but, 1 or 2 a day, maybe every other day. All of these things are happening right now. I'm not going to tell you why they're happening. I don't know. But following the pandemic, that's what happened. Of course, there are a lot of people who blame the vaccines. I have no idea. It could be COVID. It could just be the spike protein. I have no idea. Now, here's the story. They say, CBS Los Angeles weatherwoman Alyssa Carlson Schwartz told colleagues Tuesday that she suffers from vasovagal syncope. Is that what it is? Syncope? Which affects roughly 1/3 of the population. I do have a history of fainting. It's just when you're on a public platform, sometimes it happens, and now people see this. Schwartz shocked weekend viewers when she turned white during her 7 a.m. report, leaned forward uneasily onto her desk. She tried to steady herself as her eyes rolled to the back of her head and she slumped forward, then suddenly dropped to the ground as her co-anchors shrieked in surprise. So here's the point. She's suffering from this and it happens. Her coworkers have never seen it. They don't know about it. She didn't tell them. How long has she worked there? It's like years, isn't it? Hasn't she worked there for a really long time? Wouldn't her coworkers know she suffered from a disorder where she frequently faints? No, they shriek. They don't know about it. Schwartz was hospitalized with a head injury, but returned to the station days later with good news. She had recovered from the scary incident and could point to its exact cause. Vasovagal syncope, or syncope, I pronounce it, occurs when one's body overreacts to certain triggers, such as the sight of blood or extreme emotional distress. It is often triggered by a sudden drop in heart rate and blood pressure, which leads to reduced blood flow to the brain. I've told stories about how I've personally seen people, I've experienced someone suffering from this. I was doing hostile environment training, and they played a video of a pig's femoral bleed. We were warned outright. The sight of this much blood may trigger a response in people, which causes this kind of reaction. I can't understand that. That was crazy to me. I was like, what do you mean? Like, looking at someone bleeding will make you pass out? Yeah, people pass out at the sight of blood. It's weird. I wonder if it has to do with some kind of response to where if you start bleeding and your blood is pumping like crazy, the blood sprays, But if you shut down and your heart stops, it stops you from bleeding out or something. I don't know. Theories. Anyway, he played this video of the pig bleeding, and then all of a sudden we heard a bang. A dude sitting in his metal chair just flopped straight to the ground. The guy immediately runs over, pushes everybody out of the way, lifts his legs up. The guy starts to come to and tries to move, and he says, "Don't stand up, don't move." And the guy goes, "I'm fine." He goes, "No, you're not." He's like, "You're only awake right now because I lifted up your legs, putting blood pressure back into your brain. Do not move." I believe they removed the guy before playing the video again. Yeah, it was a video of a pig, and the pig was being exsanguinated. They were removing the blood from the pig, and so the blood spraying out. This caused a guy to collapse. Schwartz revealed that her leaky heart valve, which she was diagnosed with after suffering a similar scary episode in 2014, was not to blame for the fainting spell. Interesting. Initially, when this happened, I think a lot of people, including myself, thought I was having a heart attack on the air. Her eyes rolled to the back of her head, and she just goes out. That's not the case. The California meteorologist said she felt fine in the hours before the broadcast and only felt symptoms about 15 minutes before the terrifying fainting spell. Schwartz said she hadn't eaten anything yet and was drinking a lot of coffee and attributed her feelings of nausea to dehydration. So what triggered the vasovagal response? What triggered it? Emotional distress? Where? The sight of blood? What was she looking at? I don't believe it. I'm sorry, I just don't. At that point, I thought, I'm just going to power through. I'll be fine, as I usually am. I could feel the tunnel vision coming and just starting to get black, and so I tried to brace myself on the desk, but no, it was too late. Schwartz, who moonlights as a health coach, offered some advice to others so others could avoid ailing from the same disease. Staying hydrated and getting enough rest were two of the biggest points. But Schwartz reminded viewers to keep their health in mind in aspects of their daily lives. Sometimes we put ourselves last. We go until something happens, and then it's too late. Yeah, I don't know, man. Something seems to be causing a lot of similar things. We saw that story where it was like an 18-year-old tennis playing kid collapses right there on the court. His heart stopped. Was that a vasovagal syncope or whatever? What made that happen? Why are we seeing so many stories now? I am a man of logic and reason. It may be, simply put, that we normally just don't care to pay attention to them. It's not a big deal. And now we've got a couple things. One, it's clickbait. It gets people to watch. You get views from it. So, of course, everyone's talking about it. But also you have the confirmation bias. People are looking for these stories because of COVID and the vaccine. And thus, that may be what is pushing it front and center. Or, I don't know, it could be spike protein related. Talk to a doctor, figure it out. Honestly, this woman may be telling you the truth. Now, outside of this, as kind of a hard segue, because I thought this was interesting. Someone brought this up to us on Timcast IRL's Uncensored Members Only show. Become a member at timcast.com. Sign up and join our Discord so you can call in to the after hours show. And someone who called in told us to take a look at Candida auris, a drug-resistant fungus invading healthcare facilities. This may be the next big pandemic. Maybe it will be bird flu. We don't know. USA Today says, the CDC is calling an emergency fungus an urgent threat after a new study showed it has been spreading at an alarming rate throughout healthcare facilities. Cases of Candida auris, which is resistant to several antifungal medications, has increased each year since it was first reported in 2016. Its most rapid rise was in 2020 to 2021. Cases detected through screening tripled from 2020 to 2021, totaling 4,000. The rapid rise and geographic spread of cases is concerning and emphasizes the need for continued surveillance, expanded lab capacity, quicker diagnostic tests, blah, 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 blah. I thought it was interesting. I don't know what will end up happening in terms of Candida auris. I bring it up just to say this. A woman passed out on live TV. She has a reason for it, she says. Okay. Remember when that woman got vaccinated on live TV and she passed out and she was suffering from basically the same thing, fainting spells, she called it? I guess a lot of people got the shot. If people suffer from fainting spells and they drink water, we don't say water caused them to faint. Unless we're doing a big campaign to say everyone drink water and then we film it and then it happens. We'll be like, whoa, what happened? What did the water do? You see what I'm saying? You got to watch out for that confirmation bias. That being said, it appears something is happening. There's too many stories right now. Either it's a social contagion of fear or a physical reaction to something in our environment or in our medical system? I don't have the answers. You tell me. I'll leave it there. There may be another segment. I don't know. Welcome to Friday. Go to youtube.com/Timcast and watch the Culture War podcast. We've been putting those out Fridays at 1 p.m. Thank you all so much for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.